Good morning, my name is Byron Drew from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Tuesday, the 10th of July. Today's brief will include a quick look at your medium-term forecast, followed by a more detailed forecast across both the UK and the rest of Western Europe, followed by Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. And we'll start the medium-term forecast with a look at your 7-day average temperature forecast across the UK over the next 32 days, starting in the first week of August, where across the UK temperatures are likely to trend somewhat below climate average by around 1 degree Celsius. And during this time, a general area of high pressure is likely to dominate north and west of the UK, resulting in a relatively cool northeasterly airflow across the country. This circulation pattern is also likely to result in slightly below average temperatures through many other parts of Central Europe, including Germany. And while the overall synoptic pattern is likely to be somewhat less organized in the last week of July, the resulting temperatures are likely to be largely similar, trending below normal in the UK, although slightly nearer to climate average. Meanwhile, in many far western parts of Europe, temperatures are likely to trend nearer to climate average, and in fact in Spain, temperatures will even trend above normal for this time of year. And now for a more detailed look at your temperature forecast across the UK over the next 15 days, starting between days 11 and 15. During this time, temperatures across the UK are likely to trend very near to, although potentially just slightly below climate average. These near average temperatures are the result of a relatively mild westerly air mass rotating around a high pressure southwest of the UK. That high pressure system is likely to extend further north up the west coast of the United Kingdom between days 6 and 10, resulting in a cooler northwesterly airflow. This is likely to result in temperatures generally below climate average, although temperatures are likely to moderate nearer to climate normal by the 18th of July. And finally, in the short term, temperatures are likely to trend around 1 degree Celsius below normal between days 2 and 5 across the UK. Now for a look at your temperature forecast across the rest of Western Europe over the next 15 days, once again starting between days 11 and 15. And during this time, temperatures across most parts of Central and Western Europe are likely to trend near to, although potentially just slightly below climate average, while temperatures in far western places, including Spain, will trend slightly above average by around 1 or 2 degrees. These near-average temperatures are the result of a large high-pressure system west of the UK, which is extending a surface ridge into central parts of Europe and resulting in a relatively mild westerly to northwesterly airflow. Temperatures are likely to be considerably cooler in Eastern Europe between days 6 and 10, as low pressure draws in a much cooler air mass. As a result, temperatures in far eastern parts are likely to trend significantly cooler, the likes of Germany and Austria trending between 3 and 4 degrees below normal, while further west, nearer average temperatures are likely, trending between 0 and 1 degree below average into the likes of Benelux and France, while Spain remains above normal for this time of year. And on our latest German model comparison graph, you can see that we have a good agreement and consistency between both available ensemble models, with temperatures expected to start moderating after the 17th of July. And finally, in the short term, temperatures between days 2 and 5 are likely to trend between 1 and 2 degrees below normal through France and Benelux, while generally cooler weather is expected further east, as Germany and Austria both trend between 3 and 4 degrees below average. And now for a look at your wind and solar power generation potential across Germany, starting with your aggregated solar radiation forecast in Germany, where moderate levels of solar radiation are likely across Germany for the rest of today, with a slight increase in peak solar radiation midday today compared to midday yesterday. And looking at the aggregated wind speed forecast across Germany over the next 4 days, you can see that generally light to moderate winds are expected across most parts of the country, with wind speeds generally averaging between 5 and 15 miles per hour. With the lightest winds across Germany over the next 4 days expected overnight tonight, and the strongest winds in Germany expected on Thursday around midday. Local winds could, however, be significantly stronger in far northern parts of Germany. And now for Scandinavian precipitation, where, Generally near to or above average precipitation totals are likely for most parts of Scandinavia over the next 7 or 8 days, with the highest rainfall totals likely in parts of southern Sweden and Norway, where they could see up to twice their normal weekly precipitation in parts. These unsettled conditions are the result of a large low-pressure system that is expected to be dominant across Scandinavia over the next 7 or 8 days. And now for global weather alerts, starting with a severe weather advisory in the UK for the potential for heavy rain and even localized flooding in parts of the UK for the rest of today. And now on to the US, where, although the extreme heat of last week has passed, the western half of the country is expected to trend above normal over the next 7 or 8 days, with temperatures near or even potentially slightly below average in many eastern parts. And at the moment, there are 2 active tropical storm systems off the southwestern coast of the US, one of which is Hurricane Emilia, which at the moment is moving west-northwest and is not expected to make landfall. The other system, which is slightly further west, is Hurricane Daniel, which is currently moving westwards towards Hawaii. Although Daniel is expected to weaken considerably over the coming days, and is in fact expected to pass south of Hawaii as a tropical depression, which is considerably weaker than a hurricane. For updates and more information, please visit the Joint Typhoon Warning Center website at the link provided. And in South America, once again, most parts of Brazil can expect below average precipitation totals over the next week or so, with parts in the south, however, expecting near to and even above normal totals. And finally, onto East Asia, where in many parts of southeastern China, Korea and Japan, temperatures are likely to trend near to, although potentially just slightly below, climate average. And that's all for today's weather brief. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.